Okay, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Let's set the scene. It is early 2026. We are effectively standing on the edge of a cultural cliff.
That is a dramatic way to put it.
Is it? I mean, think about it. We are days away from the Super Bowl. You can practically feel the static electricity in the air. We're talking about an event where the viewership is projected to top, what, 120 million people?
It's the one time a year the entire country effectively pauses, yeah. Everybody stops what they're doing to watch the same thing.
Exactly. And the advertising spend is just astronomical. You've got Green Day doing the concert circuit. The halftime show is shrouded in secrecy. It is this massive, noisy cultural collision. It's loud.
It is the definition of noise. It's pure commercial clamor, all competing for your attention.
But in the middle of all that noise, there is this one specific signal, a piece of pop culture that people are arguably stressing over more than the game itself. The rumor mill is on fire that we are finally getting the teaser for Avengers: Doomsday.
The big one, the moment the internet breaks.
Right. The first real look at the big bad. But here is the thing, and this is why I pulled this specific stack of research for today. We are not going to talk about the trailer. I don't care about the CGI. I don't really care about the plot theories or, who is fighting who.
Which is good, because I'm terrible at predicting plot twists. I'm always wrong.
We are doing something completely different. We're looking at a fascinating experiment from the article we're discussing that asks a question I honestly never even thought to ask. It takes this fictional supervillain Dr. Doom, and it treats his wardrobe, his actual physical look, as a serious, graduate-level case study in men's fashion.
It sounds kind of absurd on the surface, doesn't it? Like, really, we're going to analyze a comic book villain's coat, but when you actually dig into the source material, it's a brilliant premise.
It's a style battle. That's what the article calls it, which I love.
Correct. It sets it up like a tournament bracket.
So the mission for this deep dive is to answer one fundamental question. Can a comic book look, specifically the Sovereign of Latveria, survive in the real world? Can you take that aesthetic of, absolute dominance and put it in a coffee shop or a boardroom or a subway station without looking like you're on your way to Comic-Con?
It's a test of translation. It's about taking the core idea, the archetype. We're taking the sovereign archetype, which is all about absolute control, and seeing if it holds up against modern, real-world style archetypes.
And just to give you, the listener, a roadmap, this isn't just about wear this, don't wear that. This feels more like, sports commentary.
It is. It's a bracket. It's a head-to-head competition.
But instead of analyzing touchdowns, we are analyzing lapel widths and fabric choices.
Well, think of it as a lesson in aesthetics philosophy. That's really what's at the heart of this.
Right.
We are going to explore how clothes communicate your intent before you even speak a single word. Because that is what Doom does. He signals before he acts.
Okay, before we throw him in the ring, we need to understand the fighter. Section 1 of our notes here is the philosophy of the villain. How does this article actually deconstruct Dr. Doom? Because let's be real, he's a guy in a metal mask and a green cape. How do you make that sartorial?
Well, first, you have to strip away the fantasy. That's the first step. You take away the magic blasters and the time travel and all the comic book stuff. When you boil Dr. Doom down to his essence, what is he?
A dictator, a genius, a megalomaniac.
All of those, yes. But at his core, he is a strategist. He is a sovereign. And most importantly for this discussion, he is a symbol of authority without excess.
Without excess. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you look at the visual analysis in the article, the color palette is incredibly specific. It's not the bright, chaotic purple of the Joker or the flashiness of other villains. It's emerald or dark green. It's brown leather. It's rigid structures.
It feels medieval, almost ancient.
It is medieval. That's the point. It's armor. But here's the problem. You cannot wear medieval armor to a business lunch.
Not if you want to sign the deal, no. You might get arrested, actually.
Precisely. It signals threat rather than capability. So the article does this fascinating translation. They adapt the concept of armor by using layers, by using heavy fabrics, and most importantly, by using structured tailoring.
Structured tailoring meaning what exactly? Like stiff? Uncomfortable?
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Structured means the shoulder doesn't slump. The fabric doesn't wrinkle easily. It holds its shape. It creates a silhouette that looks, well, a bit like a fortress.
Okay.
When you wear a structured jacket, you occupy more space. You look harder to knock over, both literally and figuratively.
Okay, that makes sense. It's visual weight. And the cape, which is obviously the most comic book element of all, they translate that into the emerald coat.
They call it the non-negotiable layer. I love that term.
Right. So that vintage heavy green coat is the anchor for every single look. It provides the drama and the coverage.
It's the signature. Without the green coat, he's just a guy in a suit. With the coat, he's an entity. He has a presence.
Okay, so we have our contender. Doom is essentially wearing high-end, structured green layers, a very specific uniform. So who is he fighting? The article sets up 3 archetypes he has to beat. Break these down for me because they sound like character classes in a video game.
They essentially are. They're frameworks for understanding style. These are the home teams of the real world. First, you have the refined. Think high status, intellectual, the boardroom, the library, the art gallery.
Okay, I'm picturing Succession vibes. Old money. Quiet confidence.
Exactly. Then you have the rakish. This is playful, it's charming, a little bit dangerous. The guy at the cocktail party who is having more fun than everyone else, and everyone is drawn to him.
The guy you want to sit next to but maybe shouldn't lend money to?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the third, the rugged, functional, tough, grounded, the guy who builds things, or at least looks like he could.
And why do we need these categories? Why can't we just say, does he look cool, and call it a day?
Because cool is contextual. It's entirely dependent on the environment. An outfit that wins in a library might lose terribly on a construction site. The article is testing Doom's aesthetic across these different environments to see where his authority holds up and where it just completely falls apart.
All right. I love this. Let's get into the ring. We've got the notes, we've got the matchups. Let's start with the rakish battles. This seems like the hardest place for a guy like Doom to compete.
It is. Charm versus authority. It's a natural conflict.
This is battle number 5 in the text. We have Doom's rakish continental versus the man in the camel coat.
A classic showdown. The disruptor versus the institution.
I want to paint the picture for the listener because the visual descriptions here are wild. Let's look at Doom first. The article calls this look rakish continental. He is wearing that knee-length emerald vintage coat, but underneath, he's got an emerald satin Cuban collar shirt.
Can we pause on Cuban collar for a second? We should probably unpack that.
Yeah, define that for the people in the back who aren't fashion nerds.
So a Cuban collar is an open, sort of notch-like collar. Doesn't have a top button that chokes you. It's designed to lay flat against the collarbone. It signals relaxation. It's basically a vacation shirt, but a very stylish one.
So it's inherently casual.
Inherently. It says, I'm off the clock.
Okay, so he's wearing a green vacation shirt made of satin. So it's shiny pale sage trousers and greenish-brown suede loafers.
Just visualize that for a second. Green coat.
Yeah.
Green satin shirt. Sage trousers. It is an almost completely monochrome green field. It's a lot of one color.
It sounds incredibly loud. Like you would not miss this person walking into a room.
It's expressive. It's relaxed. The vibe is, I am so confident I don't need to wear a suit. It's prioritizing charm and personal charisma over rigidity.
Okay, in the other corner. The
Yeah.
challenger. The man in the camel coat.
This is the institutional standard. This is the guy who runs the bank.
The article describes this look as restraint perfected. It's a camel hair overcoat, which is that soft tan color with a soft drape. Underneath, a navy wool suit. A crisp white poplin shirt, burgundy silk tie, and dark brown cap-toe Oxfords.
And that term cap-toe just means there is a stitched line across the toe box of the shoe. It is the standard conservative business shoe. It says, I follow the rules, and I probably wrote some of them.
So we have the green god of leisure versus the CEO.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
And the context here is social proximity. We're talking about cafes, art galleries, places where you are meeting people, making impressions.
And the verdict. Drum roll, please.
Doom loses.
First round knockout. The article gives it to the man in the camel coat, 5 stars to 4. A close fight, but a clear winner.
And the analysis of why he loses is the first real insight of this entire deep dive. It sets the stage for everything else.
Hit me. Why did the green satin fail him?
Because the rakish continental look Doom's look relies entirely on what the article calls personal magnetism. To pull off a green satin shirt and sage pants, you have to be the most interesting, charismatic, witty person in the room. You have to work for it.
So the outfit isn't doing the talking for you.
The outfit is screaming, look at me, which means you have to deliver when people inevitably look. If you're having a bad day, or you're tired, or you just want to get a quiet coffee, that outfit makes you look insane. It's a high-maintenance look.
Whereas the camel coat.
The camel coat communicates authority immediately. It creates what the article calls a visual stabilizer.
A stabilizer. That's an interesting term for clothing. I've never heard that before.
Think about it socially. You walk into a room wearing a perfectly tailored navy suit and a camel coat, and people assume you know what you are doing before you even open your mouth. You don't have to be charming. You don't have to be witty. The clothes are credible, so you are credible by extension.
That is actually kind of depressing. It sounds like boring wins.
In a professional or a semi-professional setting, yes, boring, or rather predictable, often beats expressive. The article calls this an aesthetics philosophy lesson. Intentional dressing means understanding that the second message, the one about stability and credibility, often carries more weight than the first message of being unique or creative.
So Doom tried to be too cool for the room and got beat by a guy who just wanted to look professional and reliable.
He lacked the institutional weight. His outfit was all personality, and in that context, the institution won.
All right, well, let's see if he fares better in the underworld. We're on to battle number 4. This is still under the Rakish umbrella, but we are moving away from the cafe and towards, I guess, the VIP lounge, the back room of a very expensive restaurant.
The back room, exactly, where the real deals are made.
We have Doom's Rakish shadow versus the Italian crime prince.
Oh, this is a clash of personalities. This is fantastic.
Let's look at Doom first. The article calls this one controlled menace. I love that phrase. We are talking the emerald coat again, but this time an open-neck satin shirt, high-waist fluid trousers. It's a near monochrome green again, but it's darker, more tonal.
It's quiet. It draws you in. It's meant to be mysterious. You have to lean in to hear what this person is saying.
And the contender, the Italian crime prince. The article calls this unapologetic excess. I'm looking at the description. A cream double-breasted suit, a black silk shirt with an open collar, polished black loafers, a gold watch, a gold signet ring, and this is the key visible gold chains at the neck.
This is loud. This is aristocratic warmth. You should think of a mob boss who wants to buy you dinner before he threatens you. It's a performance of wealth and hospitality.
So we have quiet tonal menace versus loud aristocratic warmth, a fascinating contrast. And the verdict.
The Italian crime prince takes it.
Another loss for Doom. He's 0-2.
He is having a rough start.
Yeah.
But this verdict is fascinating because it challenges our assumptions about what power looks like. It really does.
How so? The dark, menacing look seems more powerful on the surface.
Well, we tend to think power looks like doom dark, severe, don't touch me, I am an island. But the article argues that the Italian crime prince wins because that look says, stand with me. It's an invitation.
It's inviting. A cream suit and gold chains.
It commands warmth. The cream suit reflects light. It makes the person appear more open. The gold catches the eye. It's a Godfather vibe. You want to kiss the ring. Doom's look is solitary. It says, don't cross me. The Prime Prince says, join me and we'll prosper together.
And in a social setting, even a dangerous one, you want allies. You want to build a team.
Exactly. The expert insight here is that true authority isn't always dark and severe. Sometimes elegance is the weapon. The cream suit invites people in, whereas the dark green keeps them at a distance. If you are trying to be rakish, which implies social lubrication, getting people on your side, you want to invite people in.
So Doom is failing because he's too much like Doom. He's too isolated, too intimidating.
He's bringing a fortress to a cocktail party. It's the wrong tool for the job.
Okay, so the real world is proving to be a tougher opponent than the Fantastic Four. We need to switch gears. We are moving out of the gala, out of the office, and hitting the pavement. Section 3, the rugged battle.
This is where we test functionality, adaptability. Can the look survive the grit of the real world?
Battle number 3 is here. Doom's rugged minimal versus the denim warlord.
I absolutely love that title, the denim warlord. It conjures such a specific image.
It sounds like a boss in a video game or a character from a 70s movie. Let's describe Doom first. The article calls this restraint under pressure. The emerald coat is still there, that's the constant. But now he is wearing a deep olive heavyweight t-shirt with a matte surface.
And matte is the key word here. No shine, no silk. It absorbs light. It's utilitarian.
Muted green straight-cut denim with no distressing, no holes, no fades, and off-black suede boots.
I want you to notice the textures here. Heavyweight cotton, suede. These are capable materials. The vibe is not nostalgic, it's purely functional.
Okay. And the contender, the denim warlord, described as Americana as uniform. He's wearing a raw indigo denim jacket, very rigid, a chambray shirt underneath, matching raw jeans, heavy work boots, a thick leather belt.
This is the Canadian tuxedo done right. It says heritage. It says I work with my hands. It's a very strong, very specific identity.
The context is urban environments versus blue-collar zones, the street, the workshop, And finally, Doom gets a win.
He's on the board.
At last.
5 stars to 4. The rugged minimal takes the gold. Now explain this to me, because the denim warlord look is a classic. It's an institution in its own right. Why did it lose this battle?
Because of something the article calls costume risk.
Costume risk, what is that?
The warlord look, while iconic, borders on cosplay. It is culturally locked into a very specific lane. If you wear a full, rigid double denim rig into a modern creative studio, or a tech office, or even a nice bar, you look like you are cosplaying a 1950s mechanic.
You look like you're trying to sell artisanal coffee or craft beer. It's a uniform for a certain kind of person. Exactly. It's too specific, it's nostalgic. But Doom's look, the rugged minimal, it wins on adaptability. That is the key word. It relies on proportion and texture rather than symbols.
Explain that distinction. What do you mean by symbols?
A cowboy hat is a symbol. A rigid denim jacket is a symbol. They carry a heavy amount of cultural baggage. They tell a very specific story about Americana, workwear, rebellion, etc. But a heavyweight olive t-shirt, that's just texture. A straight-leg green jean, that's just proportion. It doesn't have that same heavy baggage.
So you could wear that olive tee and emerald coat in a workshop, and you look capable. You could wear it to a casual meeting, and you look creative. It doesn't lock you in.
Exactly. It's stealth.
Dude.
The lesson here, and it's a big one, is this. The man who can move across contexts holds more power than the one locked into a single visual identity. Minimalism allows for movement. The uniform, by its very nature, restricts it.
That's a really powerful takeaway. Power is mobility. If you look like you can only exist in a lumberyard, you lose power when you step onto Wall Street or into a museum.
Precisely. Adaptability is the ultimate survival trait, in fashion as in nature.
Okay, so Doom has proven he can handle the street. He's got one win under his belt. Now let's go back up the ladder. We're going to the Ivory Tower. Section 4, the refined battles.
This is about intellect and absolute power. They should be Doom's home turf, theoretically.
Battle number 2, Doom's refined academic versus the white suit heretic.
The Heretic. The naming convention in this article is just top-notch.
It really is. Okay, let's break down the looks. Doom's look is labeled intellectual authority. We have the emerald coat, of course. Underneath, a moss green tweed blazer, a sage merino turtleneck, olive flannel trousers, and dark brown suede loafers.
I want you to just listen to those fabrics again. Tweed, merino wool, flannel, suede.
It sounds fuzzy, it sounds soft.
It sounds textured, it sounds rich. These fabrics absorb light. They signal depth and complexity. Tweed and flannel are fabrics of patience. They are academic. They imply you spend your time in old libraries reading ancient leather-bound texts.
Which, to be fair, Dr. Doom actually does. It fits the character.
Right. The outfit signals cultivated judgment. It says, I think before I act.
Okay, now the challenger. The white suit heretic. The description is simple. A white, 6-button, double-breasted suit. A pastel dress shirt. Sunglasses. That's it.
The article calls this deliberate provocation.
It's aggressive, isn't it? Wearing all white.
It's his confrontational elegance. Wearing a white suit isn't just a style choice, it's a demand. You are demanding that the world around you keeps you clean. You are demanding attention. You can't be a wallflower in a white suit.
So the intellectual versus the provocateur, and the verdict.
Doom wins again. The refined academic takes it. 5 stars to 4.
Why? I feel like the white suit is bolder. It makes a bigger statement.
It does, but that's precisely why it loses in this context. The white suit depends on spectacle. It screams for attention. It says, look at me, acknowledge me. But Doom's look, that tweed and flannel combination, it signals trustworthiness. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's still a powerful layered green look, but it doesn't need to scream. It's confident in its silence.
It's the difference between a celebrity walking a red carpet and a tenured professor giving a lecture.
That's a great way to put it. Or the difference between status flexing and actual status. The article makes a great point here. Trustworthiness usually beats spectacle in the long run. If you want to lead people, you need them to trust your judgment, not just admire your audacity.
So the quiet, textured guy in the corner often looks like the one actually in charge, while the guy in the white suit looks like he's selling something or performing.
Exactly. The authority is earned, not demanded.
Okay, we are tied up. 2 wins for Doom, 2 losses. It all comes down to this. The main event. The final round. Battle number 1.
The ultimate showdown. The one everyone was waiting for.
We are comparing the ultimate fictional sovereign against the actor who is not only famous for playing his nemesis, Iron Man, but is a style icon in his own right. It is Doom's refined absolute versus Robert Downey Jr.
Fiction versus reality. The character versus the star.
Let's look at Doom first. This is his peak form. Visual sovereignty. Emerald coat. Underneath, a dark forest, green worsted wool suit, single-breasted, a deep green silk shirt, no tie, and black calfskin hole cuts.
Can we pause on hole cuts for the listener? Because this is a very specific, very important detail.
Oh, yeah, explain that.
A hole-cut shoe is a dress shoe made from a single, flawless piece of leather. There's no stitching across the toe, no cap, no wingtip details. It is incredibly difficult and expensive to make because the leather has to be absolutely perfect. It is the cleanest, most formal, most minimalist shoe you can possibly buy.
So it signals perfectionism, control.
It signals flawless. And note the other details in Doom's outfit, or rather the lack of them, the absence of accessories. There's no watch, no ring, no tie bar, nothing. Just clean tailoring and perfect shoes.
It's stripped down to pure, unadulterated power.
Exactly. Now look at the contender, RDJ.
Robert Downey Jr. The article has him in a warm brown tailored suit, a patterned open-collar shirt, polished boots, tinted glasses, a silk scarf, rings, bracelets.
It is a platform for personality. It's wit, rebellion, eccentricity, it's jewelry, it's layers of stuff. It's a collage of personal history and taste.
So, who wins? The sovereign or the star? The minimalist or the maximalist? The silent authority or the charismatic performer?
The verdict is draw.
Now draw.
5 stars each. A perfect score for both.
I feel like that's a cop-out. Come on, you have to pick a winner. Is that a cop-out?
No, it's
Yeah.
not. And it's actually the only philosophical answer that makes sense. And here's why. RDJ's style is performative. It relies on his specific one-of-a-kind persona to work. If you, the host, or I put on the tinted glasses, the scarf, the rings, the boots, we might look like we were trying way too hard.
We'd look like we were going to a costume party as Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly. It risks becoming a costume on anyone else. But Doom's style is refined absolute. It stands alone. It fits a man with a cold undertone and high authority. It doesn't need big personality to prop it up. The clothes provide the structure and the gravitas.
So the reason it's a draw is that in aesthetics, the strongest outfit is the one that perfectly fits the specific man and his specific intent.
RDJ needs the flair to communicate his wit and his creativity. Doom needs the silence to communicate his control and his intellect. They're both perfect, but only for their specific intents. If Doom wore the scarf and glasses, he wouldn't look scary, he'd look silly. If RDJ wore the severe, accessory-free green suit, he'd look boring, like his personality had been erased.
That is such a fascinating way to look at it. It takes the competition out of it entirely and turns it into a question of alignment. Is your external presentation aligned with your internal reality?
Alignment is the ultimate goal. Not winning, but aligning your outside with your inside. That's the core of intentional dressing.
So we have gone through 5 battles. We have seen Doom lose to a camel coat, lose to a crime prince, beat a denim warlord, beat a white suit, and tie with a movie star. What does this all mean? Let's try and synthesize this experiment. Let's move to our grand takeaways.
Well, the article has a Q&A section at the end that really brings it all together. The first big question is the one we started this whole deep dive with. Can Dr. June's style work in real life?
And the answer, after all that,
Yes, but, and this is a very, very big, but only when stripped of the fantasy. You keep the proportion, you keep the intent, you keep the color palette, but you lose the metal mask.
right. Please leave the mask at home. Unless it's Halloween, then it's fine.
The article defines this philosophy as intentional dressing, and their definition is an outfit that communicates for you before you speak. It considers the environment, your role in that environment, and the contrast you want to create. It actively avoids trends in favor of purpose.
I think that's the biggest takeaway for me personally, this idea of the myth of the best style. We all want to know, what should I wear? As if there's one correct answer that works for everyone, everywhere.
But look at the winners of these battles. The man in the camel coat is profoundly conservative. The Italian crime prince is loud and flashy. They are polar opposites, yet they both won their respective battles decisively.
Because they fit the context perfectly.
Well, they required the least explanation. When you see the man in the camel coat in a boardroom, you don't ask, who is that? You know. When you see the crime prince at a high-stakes poker game, you know.
The winners were the ones where the message was the clearest and required the least amount of personal effort to back it up.
Style only wins when it fits the man wearing it and the room he's in. The article mentions a style confidence index and something called an aesthetics game as tools to help you, the listener, test your own eye. It is about calibrating your judgment, not just copying outfits.
It really shifts the perspective from buying cool clothes to building a visual language.
Which is exactly what a strategist like Dr. Doom would do. He doesn't just get dressed in the morning. He arms himself visually for the day's battles.
So we have gone from a Super Bowl trailer hype train to a deep lesson on sociology, philosophy, and fashion. Who knew a comic book could contain all that?
It's the power of pop culture. It gives us a lens, a shared language, to examine ourselves and the world we live in.
Let's recap the wins one last time for the people taking notes. Adaptability beats uniformity. That was the rugged battle. Reliability beats spectacle. That was the academic battle.
Right? Trust over flash.
But sometimes, and this is the one that's a bit of a curveball, sometimes warmth beats severity. That was the Rakish battle where he lost to the Prime Prince.
That is the one that sticks with me. Because it's a lesson in strategy. Even a villain, even a sovereign, needs to know when to smile, metaphorically speaking. Sometimes you have to let people in to get what you want. You can't be a fortress all the time.
So here's the provocative closing thought for you, the listener. The article leaves us with a challenge. It says, it is no longer about judging Dr. Doom or RDJ. The game is about training your eye.
If you walked into a room today, and you can do this right now, just look down at what you're wearing. What does your outfit say for you before you open your mouth?
Does it say heritage? Does it say provocation? Does it say reliability? Or does it say, watch what I do?
Or, and this is the scary one, does it say nothing at all? Is it just noise?
Ooh, that's the really scary one. The silence of the wardrobe. The unintentional uniform.
As the article's motto says at the very end, dress well, dress intentionally.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for diving deep with us today. This was a lot of fun.
A pleasure. A fascinating topic.
We'll catch you on the next one. Keep watching the trailers, by all means, but maybe start watching the wardrobe even closer.
Indeed. There's a story there.
Bye for now.